joint meeting of all the Rotary clubs of Zone 5. Unfortunately, some of our president, tomorrow being the last day of business transaction here. So may I request our present presidents of our different Rotary clubs to kindly come on the stage, and President Jitin Bhamri, President Sunil Kansal from Rotary Club Chandigarh Central. President Jitin Bhamri is the president of Midtown, Chandigarh. We request the Rotarian Tulsi sir to kindly come and call her or the presidents. We will request Dr. Wade to be here.
Follow the president.
This is a formal way of starting any Rotary Club meeting. And for those who are not known to the Rotary, so we now request everyone to kindly rise on the seats for the national anthem.
Jana Gana Mana Adhinayaka Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Uttara Vanga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल नायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे Jaya 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 He.
Thank you. Presidents, please wake.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And as is our tradition, we start every program with the lamp lighting and with a prayer to Goddess Saraswati. So for that, I would like to invite our President, Dr. Gurvinder Singh, please to come on the stage, and Dr. R.S. Bedi, our chief dignitaries of the evening, Dr. Bali, Dr. Anurag Sharma, Dr. Jeet Ram, and our immediate past president, Dr. Ramneek Sharma. I'll also request the Rotarian presidents please to be on the stage and grace the occasion for this lamp lighting.
स्वर की देवी ये सखी
Excuse me, please. One take, please. Sir, please, sir. Balance, please. Thank you. Look at me, look this camera, please. Excuse me. Thank you so much.
Ojas Hospital. Dr.H.K.Bali, he is the consultant and the head of the cardiac sciences at Paras Hospital, and Dr. Jitram Kashyap, who is not only our vice president for the IMA Chandigarh, he is a professor at the Department of Cardiology at Government Medical College and Hospital 32. So, as that song goes, Dil ki baatein dil hi jaane, but I would like to say here that today Dil ki baatein ye hi jaane, और ये हमारे साथ आज शेयर करेंगे कि दिल तो है दिल, दिल का एतबार क्या कीजिए नहीं, दिल का एतबार ही कीजिए. So let me hand over the stage to Dr. Anurag, please.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Rotarians, senior citizens, and IMA doctors, colleagues. Today, we have gathered here because of the World Heart Day celebrations. World Heart Day इसलिए मनाया जाता है क्योंकि जागरूकता पैदा करने के लिए कि हार्ट डिजीज जो है, आप सबको पता है कि 30% of all the deaths all over the world are because of the cardiovascular diseases. That means because of heart attacks, heart failure and brain strokes. ये लाइफस्टाइल से रिलेटेड डिजीजेज हैं और इसके बारे में हमें काफ़ी लोगों को काफ़ी जानकारी भी है बिकॉज ऑफ सोशल मीडिया, बिकॉज ऑफ प्रिंट मीडिया एंड अदर मीडिया. बट फिर भी जो कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट होते हैं उनके अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस भी होते हैं और उनका अपना एक तजुर्बा होता है. जो लोग इस बीमारी को डील कर रहे हैं उनके मुंह से सुनना थोड़ा अलग ही होता है बिकॉज दे विल डेफिनेटली ऐड समथिंग टू इट. सो इसी उपलक्ष्य में आज हम 3 कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट जहाँ जमा हुए हैं आपके सामने. मैं रोटेरियन भी हूँ, मेरे क्लब के मेंबर्स भी हैं और मैं IMA का मेंबर भी हूँ और कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट भी हूँ. और मेरे साथ जो हैं, और सबसे पहले मैं इंट्रोड्यूस करूँगा डॉक्टर H.K.Bali सर को. ही इज़ माई टीचर ऑल्सो. आई हैव डन माई DM अंडर हिम इन PGI. And Dr. Bali has been a very bright student from the beginning and he has won many awards. And great thing about him is that even after, I will not say at this age, I will say even after so much experience, when maximum जो cardiologists या doctors होते हैं उनके में एक satisfaction की भावना आ जाती है कि मैंने बहुत achieve कर लिया. तो he is always looking out for new things, new technologies, new innovations. So that, and he inspires all others, us juniors also, to keep pushing. So that is, I think, the biggest introduction I can give for him, and he is renowned all over the national and international arena. He is going to talk about how to treat these patients when we come to know that we are suffering from heart disease and how to approach such patients, maybe elderly and other patients. So he's going to look into that aspect of today's talk. And before that, we will listen to Dr. Jitram Kashyap, who is again a very bright student of a very small place from beyond Shimla, where he has gone to now the professor of cardiology in GMC 32, where he is doing a great job and helping a lot of people, and he's also published a lot of papers, and he's also renowned international cardiologist. He is going to speak on prevention of heart diseases, because ये जो सारी diseases हैं lifestyle से related हैं. तो उसके बारे में पहले जो है वो डॉक्टर जीतराम कश्यप आपसे अपने विचार जो है वो करेंगे, प्रकट करेंगे और आपको गाइड करेंगे कि how we can prevent, and he will add his own experience to it. And after that, we will have a question answer session. and then we can have open discussion about it. So I think this whole program will go for around 1 hour around, and I think you should all listen to it very carefully, and I will request the people to silence their mobiles because it interferes with the people who are talking, because their flow sometimes breaks. So kind request again to silence your mobiles, and I'll invite Dr. Jeetram Kashyap to start his talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anurag Sharma, for kind introduction. Respected chairperson, my senior in the audience, and my colleagues. As the saying goes that prevention is better than cure. So I think this is a good platform provided by IMA to reach out to general public, although I can see many of the doctors also here. So ये जो टॉक है मैंने जनरल पब्लिक के हिसाब से ही बनाई है, इसमें बहुत कुछ साइंटिफिक डाटा हमने ऐड नहीं किया है. So I guess you all know why heart is so important. Because heart is the engine of the body. It provides nutrients, oxygen to all the organs of the body, and it beats 24 hours in a day, 24/7. And anything, if it happens to heart, if it stops, body can start dysfunctioning within 1 to 2 minutes of the stoppage of the heart. So अगर हम I'll speak, I think both Hindi and English can be both. So if you talk कि आज की डेट में कितना बर्डन है कार्डियक डिजीज का, as डॉक्टर अनुराग शर्मा ने ऑलरेडी बताया कि आज की डेट में 1/3 ऑफ द डेथ्स वर्ल्ड वाइड, अगर 30% ऑफ डेथ्स का कॉज है दैट इज हार्ट या हार्ट से रिलेटेड डिजीजेस. सो यू कैन इमेजिन कि 30% डिजीज अगर हार्ट की वजह से हो रही है, हाउ इम्पोर्टेंट इट इज टू प्रिवेंट एंड हाउ मच इज द burden of the disease which is going to be on cardiologist. So about 500 million suffers from heart disease every year, and around 20 million deaths occur, which accounts for around 1/3 of the total deaths worldwide caused by all other diseases. But unfortunate बात ये भी है कि इसमें जो maximum deaths होती है और maximum जो burden है, that is in low and middle income countries like ours, Indians. And we as Indians are prone to develop more extensive disease occurs at more younger age. We have seen person with 25 years, 30 years, 35 years, and to my surprise also, abhi in today I have done a 17-year-old angioplasty. Just now I'm coming from the cath lab, and a 17-year-old boy had extensive anterior wall MI, had total occlusion of one of his large artery LAD, and we have studied that. Although we need to look into the कितने जल्दी में इसको क्यों हो गया, there may be some reasons for that. But हमारा जो डाइटरी लाइफस्टाइल और हमारा जो जीवन शैली है वो इस तरह की हो गई है कि बहुत यंग पेशेंट्स में हमें कॉमनली देखने को मिलेगा. But this 17-year-old boy was the youngest, to my surprise. And अच्छी बात ये भी है कि 80% डिजीजेस जो हार्ट की है दे आर प्रिवेंटेबल इफ यू एक्ट एट टाइम इन अ टाइमली मैनर. 80% हार्ट अटैक्स को या हार्ट से रिलेटेड डिजीज को हम प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं, राइट. बट अनफॉर्चुनेट बात वही है कि जो जितने भी रिसोर्सेज है वो हाई इनकम कंट्रीज के पास ज़्यादा है, लाइक अस लो एंड मिडिल इनकम कंट्रीज जहाँ पे इसका प्रेवलेंस ज़्यादा है, एक्सटेंसिवनेस ज़्यादा है, वहाँ पे रिसोर्सेज कम है तो वहाँ पे डिजीज भी ज़्यादा होती है, उसका आउटकम भी पुअर होता है बिकॉज ऑफ द पुअर रिसोर्सेज. सो हार्ट डिजीज एक बीमारी है लाइफस्टाइल वाली, बट देयर आर सर्टेन अदर डिजीजेस व्हिच आर साइमल्टेनियसली अकरिंग एज ए रिजल्ट ऑफ बैड लाइफस्टाइल और पुअर एक्टिविटी. सो उसमें ओबेसिटी इज वन ऑफ द डिजीज which causes a vicious cycle. आप 40 डाइट होती है, एक्टिविटी नहीं होती है, आपको मोटापा होता है, उसके साथ साथ आपको बाकी की बीमारियां भी डेवलप हो रही होती है, लाइक हाइपरटेंशन, हाई ब्लड प्रेशर, डायबिटीज, which can both of these three can lead to either coronary artery disease or stroke or some other cardiovascular problem like peripheral vascular disease, and which can ultimately cause high mortality and morbidity. So, what are the risk factors जो हम जिस पे एक्ट कर सकते हैं जिससे हम इन हार्ट डिजीज को प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं? So there are certain risk factors which you can't change, like your ethnicity, like if you are from African or Asian ancestry, that will stay with you and you can't change it, and you are at a risk. Similarly, growing age, you cross 50-55 years, your chance of heart attack goes up, you can't change that. Gender है, पुरुषों में ज़्यादा होता है, मेल्स में ज़्यादा होता है. जेनेटिक्स है, अगर आपकी फैमिली हिस्ट्री है ऑलरेडी तो उनमें आगे हार्ट डिजीज होने का रिस्क ज़्यादा होता है. But there are certain risk factors which we need to look at seriously, and we can change them, and we can decrease the risk of cardiovascular events up to 80%. So these are important risk factors, and we need to recognize them early in the life so that we can intervene and prevent cardiovascular events as much as we can. So among them, as I told you earlier, that खान-पान जब 40 होता है, we develop abdominal obesity, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and all of these act together to cause either coronary artery disease or stroke or peripheral vascular disease. And on the top of that, some of us develop habit of smoking, drinking, and nowadays very important risk factors which is emerging is psychosocial stress, which is an under-recognized factor, but nowadays is becoming a very important factor for cardiovascular disease. So, हुआ क्या? What happened actually? How we developed? पहले तो नहीं होती थी obesity सबको जब लोग सब गांव में रहते थे. So as the human evolution occurred, हमारे खान-पान का जो स्टाइल है that changed according to our needs. So if you see in the very early era of life, people used to hunt, people used to use whatever they get from the jungle, kandamul, etc. And in 20th century, the main problem was of the human evolution and our humans was the nutritional problems like उस वक्त rickets, pellagra, beriberi, ये सब diseases was the prevalent, and obviously growing population was also one of the reason. And then we started having crops like this wheat, rice, potatoes. So at that time it was able to combat the needs of the human being, but now we have seen that wheat, rice and this potato may not be good for the health because of their high carbohydrate content. And recently, this is the major cause, the processed food, packaged food, ultra-processed food and sweetened beverages. They are the problem which is causing most of the problem leading to obesity. And this problem starts very early in the children. Children are becoming habitual to these dietary junk food, which contains very high amount of salt and very high amount of sugar, and their content of trans fats which are not healthy for our heart. On the other hand, as the urbanization and modernization occurred, people shifted from villages to rural areas to urban areas. So if you see what was happening in rural areas earlier, people used to work, go to their field, work manually, do heavy work, and they used to be fit. Although there were some other problems, infection, nutritional problems. But subsequently, as we shifted to the urban areas, our diet became faulty. And similarly, in the villages also, the lifestyle is also changing. The things are becoming more mechanical. Now we take help of the machines. It's good in one way, but then we are losing the effect of which the manual activity was being done. And now with the availability of the high-tech cars and modern modes of transportation, we hardly do any exercise, which was there earlier. And now we have come to this stage that we find that lots of our roads, they will be clogged, leading to pollution from many causes. It may be from vehicles, from industries, and from the waste which sometimes we throw here and there. And increasing pollution is also one of the reasons for increased cardiovascular events. The other problems which have recently been developed up in the last few decades is the modern gadgets. Now you find children sitting in front of the TV, instead of playing outdoor games, they play these video games, etc. And on the top of that, now we have social media. And you can see that every person, young or old, is on his mobile or other modes of gadgets, always on maybe Facebook or WhatsApp. So what these are leading to not these two good kind of fruits, but obesity. And these are two types of obesity, upper type of obesity which is not good, which is bad one as compared to the pear-shaped type of obesity. But then this obesity, as I told you earlier, that it leads to the vicious cycle. People develop insulin resistance, diabetes, pre-diabetes, and subsequently high cholesterol. And there's a cascade which leads to the development of cardiovascular events. Then, as I told you earlier, that some of us acquire habit of smoking and drinking, heavy drinking. Smoking, I don't think there is any benefit of smoking. It causes all kind of disease. It causes cancer apart from your cardiovascular disease. It causes COPD, peripheral vascular disease, various type of cancers. So it doesn't help at all. So mechanism, I will not go into how it affects our heart and coronaries or peripheral vascular disease, but definitely this is one of the risk factor. Alcohol in excess is also a risk factor for coronary disease. Mental stress and physical stress in today's world, there's a lot of peer pressure from our colleagues, from our children. वो ये बन गया, वो बन गया. So we take a lot of pressure. जिसने वो गाड़ी खरीद ली, so ये थोड़ी आदत बन गई है लोगों की pressure लेने की. So I think it is causing many of the events. Sometimes you don't find any risk factors. The only risk factors you'll find on probing is stress. So it has been shown that it increases the risk around 1.34 times to 2.5 times of various events. And as I told you earlier that India is the capital of many lifestyle diseases. Hypertension, if we talk, the prevalence is around 30 to 35%. 3 या 4 लोग 10 में से hypertension से पीड़ित होते हैं. और this risk increases as the age advances. It goes up to 60-70% as you age beyond 60 years. And अगर इससे आप देखोगे mortality, तो आपका जैसे ब्लड प्रेशर 115/75 के ऊपर every 20/10 rise causes doubles your mortality. So you can see कि अगर आपका 135/85 हो गया तो 2 times आप रिस्क पे हो. अगर 155/95 तो 4 times and 175/105 8 times. So you can see how much is the burden. And it affects almost all organs. It spares no organ, brain, heart, eyes, peripheral vascular disease. Similarly, diabetes also affects all the organs of the body. So if you develop diabetes, it creates a vicious cycle. Obesity, so these are the three main: diabetes, hypertension, obesity. So if you see the mortality with rising BMI increases. So can we assess our risk of cardiovascular events by ourselves? Yes, we can. There are various risk scores available. I'll name few of them, like Framingham risk score. You can find them on net. You download, you open the risk score, this thing will appear, but having multiple parameters, you fill those parameters yourself, and your risk score will come there on the desk. So you can assess yourself how much at what kind of risk you are. So how to prevent? So there are 3 levels of prevention. One is primordial prevention, then is primary prevention, secondary prevention.